All right. Well, session just opened basically. I don't have really any like big expectations or anything. I'm actually feel pretty quiet and just watching the market. I'm noticing that besides the gold, Dow, and ES, Nasdaq is opening beyond above yesterday's highs, which could maybe mean that it could continue pushing higher. I'm not gonna touch anything for now. I haven't even done anything yet. I wanna see the retest of this area here, and I wanna see if it rejects and if it closes above again. I'm gonna be because so far it seems like the Dow is just taking the lows. I don't know if it's gonna continue tanking or whatever because sometimes they just disconnect from each other. But I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna do anything here. For example, I'm not gonna engage on the Dow or whatever, like to the downside or something. If something, I could just probably buy the first bar low, but I'm not gonna do really anything now. Just gonna be on the sidelines. And well, just one more thing. I decided to basically since I have two accounts now, I'm gonna copy trade them with this account basically being the lead account. So yeah, I'm gonna just remain more patient because well, like I said, the overnight range overall is doesn't even look so clean. Nasdaq just like I said came all the way, kind of consolidated, and then it just came all the way up, and now it's somewhat pretty much hanging around here. So I'm gonna just sit and wait a little bit and see what happens later. Oh, so far nothing really clear. Nasdaq just continued to hesitate. First 15 minutes is basically a doji bar, whatever it's called. ES is a little bit to the downside, so it's Dow, but nothing really clear. The only thing I saw that I like was gold. This open here, close strong to the upside above this consolidation. So this bar retested this previous high here, and then when it broke higher, I bought 3 contracts here when this bar retested and then broke to the upside, and then I quickly kind of went to like 100 something, so I went break even. Then I almost got a stop top, but then it kept holding above. So now the price is broke the first 15 minutes to the upside. I want to see if there is a further continuation maybe for these highs here, and that's pretty much gonna be it. I'm not touching the trade for now. I'm like, well, not 100 plus still, but I want to see if there's a push on gold, and I want to see, for example, if NQ and so on gets a little cleaner. Dow is haven't really think anything that I like in order to short. Maybe this retest here, but I didn't want to short because it was early and also because they are so desynchronized. So I don't want to take extra risk that I don't need. So I'm gonna remain patient and see until it gets cleaner. Oh, I think so far I've done the right thing. I decided to lock near 100 on the Dow. It was like plus 300 at this point here. I still believe that it would probably trade higher. I don't know. I could get stopped out, and that's also okay. I want to see if it gets to these highs here, and well, maybe possibly to the daily highs, but no, nothing is clear. All three assets, AS, Dow, and NQ, they are still not so clean. Like it's literally all overlapping. So I think I'm doing the right thing by just remaining patient there. So I'm just pretty much gonna wait. If I get a stop in gold, that's okay. If I do get a stop down, I'm just gonna basically keep waiting and see what happens later. I decided to buy NQ with 2 contracts here on the retest. I noticed failure, so I pretty much bought yesterday's highs. I want to see this bar breaking its own high. We'll see. The reaction so far is good, and I decided to just quickly go break even. I think I don't want to have extra exposure or extra risk that is not necessary. So let's see if the rejection keeps going, if it keeps happening to the upside. Now, for example, this is a good sign for me that it breaks the high and if it pushes. And if the price is to close higher, come for the reclaiming the open and then going beyond, then I'm definitely probably will leave this trade run. But let's see, nothing clear yet. Also, there is something I want to remind myself just to so I keep it in mind. One of the reasons why I bought here, besides the rejection itself, not like a guess or a gamble, there is data behind it. Of course, I know, or I have basically from my studies, and it basically means that NQ has filled like 40% of the gaps when they are outside from previous day's range. That's what I'm taking into account for maybe a possible further upside. I mean, it could definitely could trade lower, stop me out. Basically it means that there is a 60% chance that the gap will not get filled, and I think this is a good area for rejection. So let's see if he wants to trade higher. Now it's 10 o'clock. There is some orange box news. That's why I saw some like small reaction to the downside there. But let's see. I'm letting the trade be on break even. If you want to stop me out, that's also fine. But basically, I'm going with what I think is the highest chance. Oh, I had a good trade on gold, but like I said, I was a little bit above break even, so that's actually what I got to stop out. It's rejected. I had my exit like you saw, well, basically here, but yeah, you wouldn't want to trade higher. And he rejected so far on this previous bar of the highs, and now he's trading higher. I want to see if it breaks again this previous bar high and if it holds above. That will be a really good sign for me to hold the trade towards the -1. If not, I might just close it eventually. I locked in some just so I'm not gonna, not just take a full loss or whatever or minimal loss. But I don't think it makes sense also to not take a break even after some maybe 200 plus. Overall, the trade was like around 500, so it was overall really good. I just didn't want to close it because I thought that it could push gold and also NQ. So yeah, not out of greed, just I I thought that it would make a lot of sense. So, and like I said, I was also holding the Nasdaq. So yeah, I think it was good. I just executed a buy on gold. It seems to be it's gonna get stopped out. I assume at 60 pretty much, the low of the bar. What I bought was the inside bar break to the outside. But let's see, might not work. At the same time, I decided to call it on NQ. Inside bar here, failure here. So it could potentially tank. I'm not gonna short because I don't think it's still like clear. I just decided that it was good, so I didn't want to take a break even loss, whatever. So I think it was a good decision. So yeah, I'm letting it be for now. Well, managing to lock in some and keep going, like moving forward. I think that's a good thing. Okay, so this is likely to be my last trade of the day, regardless of how it goes. I had initially, like I said, around 100 here on my risk. I didn't get stopped out there. Definitely the teams so far seems to be reacting nicely to the upside. I want to see the break of the high of the inside bar, of course, and maybe the holding around the swing high. If he does so, I'm gonna go for this -1. If he doesn't, then I'll probably just maybe close the trade at some point soon. If I notice rejection in 5-minute time frame of these highs, if he doesn't close above, I'm gonna just call it a day, basically. All right, so basically what happened was I decided to first I locked like 150 maybe here, and then I locked like somewhat like 100 below this bar here after it broke. I was thinking if it is to continue, it shouldn't break the low. But anyway, even if it does, it's fine. I'm fine with it. I decided that I would. I think I'm doing a good job in being more conservative when it comes to my risk and also to my profits themselves, because as I know by now a lot, like happened many times, that I have lost. I have not lost, but I have left so much profits on the table, which I don't think it actually makes sense. So one thing I'm noticing is that the fact that I do this is freeing stress from me in a sense. I don't have to feel like overwhelmed about P&L or whatever. I actually not thinking about P&L at all today, so I think that's a good thing. So yeah, I'm letting it be. I'm gonna just wait. I'm not gonna lock myself out of the market because I'm gonna be around a little bit. If I see that the market gets strong, like for example yesterday or something, I might engage in some of the assets. But so far, I do need to see something cleaner, either for the lower side or for the upside. As so far, NQ just remains in this, for example, basically, yeah, like 130 point range, which is pretty much not much, but still, it makes no sense to engage in this area. Besides, for example, keeping this trade that I had, or if there is a break or something. So I'm gonna just sit on the sidelines and wait for something cleaner. And I definitely want to see the break with a close and decent volume above or below this range in order for me to engage again. Other than that, I'm just gonna sit on the sidelines. I decided to buy the break of this high, of this actual bar. When it broke to the high, it came lower, then it came back again. Actually, when I bought the mark, I decided to also reduce my risk, so I'm just buying 2 contracts here, and I want to see if it holds above. It seems to be holding for now, but the bar base pretty much only has 2 minutes since it opened this 15-minute time frame. I also have a really tiny risk because I'm taking the low of this bar. All right, so basically I got stopped out earlier at a small loss, and I just got stopped out myself again here before I got stopped out the second trade. I'm letting it be. It seems to be holding, but it's kind of hesitating. I'm noticing also that the volume is not really crazy to the upside, so it could be just. But yeah, I'm gonna wait. Definitely, of course, this retest is also a possibility, which could definitely happen. But let's see. It seems to be kind of hesitating in between acceptance to the upside and just holding somewhat at the high. I'm gonna just wait a little longer. I just took a break-even trade on. I bought the break of here after this closed. This bar retested and then broke lower. So yeah, I wanted to start trading here like 50 plus or something. And I just got stopped out there. And gold, it seems to be accepting the upside, not clearly going pretty much down or whatever. But I want to see if it breaks the high of this bar. I will like buy again, or maybe I will actually buy. And let's see. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, seems to be holding better. I enter again based on the 5-minute bar. This bar here that just closed really nice to the on its high, which is a really good sign. At that point, when this bar started pushing, that's when I actually went break even. So I want to see if there's a further push. If I'm break even, well, no can do. But yeah, I definitely think it is likely to push higher. But of course, that's just what I think. One thing I want to say, well, actually, when I'm actually, what I have in my head, basically the fact that it seems like something is setting up for whatever reason. NQ so far open to high is basically like points 100 and almost 20, which is quite little. So I don't know. I want to kind of think that maybe I don't know if the ES is gonna tie yesterday's highs here from RTH here, and this previous day as well. And I want to see if NQ maybe synchronizes with Dow or whatever. It's not like I want to see a short, but definitely I think it's hesitating for too long to the upside. So it could be that we could see like a basically late drop or something. But I'm not gonna just kind of call anything. I want to wait for a confirmation in order if engage in case in the downside. But so far I'm like 360 up still. I gave some back up, so it is okay, like maybe 80 or 60 or something. But it still is good. I really like the fact that I'm managing my risk better. I'm also locking in myself. I'm not just getting break even and losses. I'm also getting take profits. So I think that's actually really really good thing. So I'm going to let it be for now. I'm gonna keep waiting on the sidelines. I just had 2 small executions here that I shouldn't have. So I bought here, stopped out small. Then I bought again here, and then again stopped out here. I think I wasn't waiting enough. I'm not patient enough. So I'm just gonna on the side, and then there's gonna be a Trump pause whatever soon, and let's see what it does. But yeah, it seems like it's definitely failing to the upside. So well, a lot has happened. Not for the best. I at the end later I kind of go like in a rush, and then here, there's still the -1 here. There's also -2 up there, and yeah, I just price kept my trading higher, failing up, down, and blah blah. So I took small losses. Then here in this one, I was already busy, so I didn't participate on anything. So yeah, then I tried to engage a couple of times, and before I realized I was break even, and now I'm like, well, -7. This is still okay. Even this Saturday is fine, but kind of makes no sense to be red after like 400 plus, to be honest. Basically, yeah, I just didn't manage to keep it together and not to give back what I got. Now it would be easy to just sit and complain. There's no point, so I'm gonna own it. It was a shit day basically. I started pretty nice, managing my risk nicely, taking some profits and blah blah blah. Then I was like plus 400 or something, 30 or something like that. So literally, I would say like, yeah, over 1k basically lost today if I count when I was up. But anyway, it's a red day, minus 700, almost 800. I had way more, but I actually just recovered some on gold. I got so obsessed with the targets and the short side eventually that, but yeah, this didn't happen. Market, well, traded higher. It broke initially when I was here at this point, and then it just remained pretty much kind of ranging but above that level, so it never came down. Gold did some, but it's still like it doesn't excuse that the trade itself is disgusting. So yeah, nothing else to say. I'm parking the chart for now, so let's see next week. For now, I'm just gonna rest and try to enjoy the best I can my weekend.